Good evening, everybody, and welcome into Off the Line Racing, where we are here for. Let me check before I get the number wrong. We're here for Austria, which is round. I did this yesterday. My mind's gone blank. Round five. Round five. My mind went blank there. Round five here in Austria for Division 1. Interesting race yesterday for Division 2. Few unexpected things going on. Nothing bad, but a few unexpected incidences. Ferraris have been strong there, and they didn't have the best of races yesterday. So who knows what could happen today? I wonder if we'll get some sort of the same sort of grid shake-up that we saw yesterday come to the race, but nonetheless we'll get on with qualifying. Let me get my bits and bobs up. I want that one and I want that one. Why didn't the track map come up? Because I didn't do track map. There we go. So there's the bits I need. Richmond has already retired. Don't know if he's had a disconnect there. I shall keep an eye out in the chat, in the Discord, and see if he asks me for another invite. I didn't see him disconnect, but he's definitely showing up as he's not going to be taking part in this qualifying session. So first one that's going to bring us on a lap, I'm going to go with PW Jones. I think Brian was just ahead of him. Yeah, Brian was just ahead of him, so sorry PW. We'll stick with Brian on this one. Brian saying he's not done enough practice and he's only expecting a mid-4, so we'll see what he can put down on the board for his first lap. Looks to have a decent entry there out of turn 3. Easy to be too aggressive on the power and snap out of there. He didn't seem to wobble too much. There was a little bit of a wiggle, but he seemed to manage to keep the car going in a straight line at least. Apologies, you'll have to hold on with me a second. I've just got to invite KFC. I think he's had a full lag out because he's not shown online. I'll check in 2 seconds. So Brian there now is coming around the final corner. Could have used a bit more curb on the exit, wanted to keep it within the lines though and just be safe, and there he is right on the ballpark where he thought he would be. Coming down into the mid 4s, and then we've got others coming in behind now. Apicati taking the current pole with a 104.3. Go back and see whether KFC is appearing online yet. Apologies, you have to see all this. Obviously, normally you don't see this bit because I'm doing it in the background. KFC is not showing online. See if I can find him quickly. I don't want to stay in there too long. See if I can find him in the offline and jam him the invite. No, I can't see him. It must be showing differently with him offline. KFC Lankley gonna need it once I load. He's not loaded back on yet, so that's why I can't see him. He has had a full game shutdown there, so Glitched Hen with a good banker there compared to everybody else so far. 2 attempts in the clear with the pole of 14.1. Let's go down to Marius Anderson, who's just started his lap. He's coming up to turn 1 now. Lovely and quick on the entry there. Seemed very, very stable on the exit as well. Now the long run up the hill into turn 3. Almost like a hairpin. Some people class it as a hairpin, but it's just a very sharp sort of just beyond 90 degree turn. I mean, it's sort of a hairpin. On the run down now into turn 4, downhill turn. You can come off the brakes easy on that one, early on that one, and allow the car to roll around it, and then the fast left-handers. He's looking very stable at the moment. Looks to be a decent lap so far off of Marius. Could have been a little bit tighter in the apex there, I think, but nonetheless, he's got the corner done, didn't swing out too wide on exit, and then round the final corners and took way more curve than we saw previously with Brian on the exit of the final corner, and goes up into P5 with 104.6, 647, which he's just dropped down to P6 as we've had someone else go ahead of him. Last man on track to set a lap is TRT Robin, who's our reserve here tonight. Well, one last time, sorry guys, just trying to get KFC back in. Hopefully he's showing online by now. He's loaded the game back up. No, I'll wait for him to ping me and let me know. I'm not going to keep pausing. I will let him know to give me the ping when he is ready. But yeah, I don't know what went on with Richmond. Obviously KFC, the other guy, still in the pit, who hasn't put a lap down yet due to not being here. And then Robin, completing his lap, goes up with a 1.4694. So quite a few people in the 1.46s. Got Bosmos, Marius, Hoffendobach, Nicholas and Robin all within the same tenth as each other. So very close in the midfield there. But so far, Glitched Hem being the outstanding performer on the banker laps, being 2 tenths clear of second place, Apicati. And then TF10 Adam falling half of a tenth behind Apicati to claim the P3 at the moment. They're getting back out on early out laps, these guys as well. In and out, get as many runs done as they can. Obviously with the lobby reset, they don't have to worry about using all their compounds, as that will get reset on the lobby reset. And as we're on board with Marius there, we see a slide going into the 2 left-handers. I think that's up turn 6. So he's going to go back in the pits now. And that's that lap over and done with for him. Hoffendobach on the run down into turn 4 now. We'll stay on board with him while he completes his next lap. See if he can get any kind of improvement on his current time on the board. Let's see if he's up in sector 2. He is up by 4 tenths through sector 2, so a much better lap from Hoffendobach so far. That will put him right up almost with Glitched currently. So we'll see where he can go once he's done his last corner. Oh, and he goes out and he invalidates on the final corner. Easy to drift out wide there, and he's done exactly that. And it looked to be a good lap up to that point. I didn't notice an invalidation before that. So unfortunate one there, but he's got time to give it a go again. And then we see Robin also going out wide on that final corner. Brian, I think I'm not sure if he's on a push or if he's on an in lap. Some people could be doing double out laps, as I know that is a thing around this circuit. Brian dips it into the pits. I heard a crunch then around turn 1. I think there might have been someone coming out the pit lane. Should be ready now. I shall get you in, KFC. Sorry guys, I know I keep saying sorry, but nobody wants to see this screen, really. But it's just one of them things where I'm the one streaming on Xbox. It doesn't matter what you're on, but yeah, I can't hide it. So yeah, you got to see that bit. But anyone in the chat, what do you think? What's your predictions? Obviously, Glitch with a strong lap. Let's see who you think. If anybody's going to out-qualify him. What's your predictions for the race? Austria is known for a bit of the wet stuff. Do you think we're going to see any of that? I think Bosmos is on a lap here. Bosmos he's had a couple of, no, he's invalidated. He's had a couple of decent weeks, Boss Moss pace-wise. It's just been a little bit unlucky in some instances, but definitely a strong driver. Nicholas, another one saying he didn't get much practice done. He's currently sitting in P10, so the last of the points positions, but in that same 10th at 104.6, close to the guys ahead of him, so capable of getting himself up a couple more positions. See how he does as he comes around the final corners now. Into the final corner, keeps it just within the line, and it doesn't look like he got any improvement on that one. Go down to Catello. I think he is on a lap, showing a purple sector. He's just a little bit faster than his previous time, and then he also goes deep out of turn 3. That will be his lap done and dusted. Doesn't invalidate, but definitely would have lost the time there. And then we've got a new pole position from TF10 Adam, 104.088, so almost 10th quicker than Glitched Hen's current lap time. I wonder if Glitched Hen has got anything left in the tank, or whether he gave it his all on that first run. With the natural track evolution, I'd expect him to maybe be able to get a quicker time, but all depends. He could be sitting there thinking that he perfected that lap to his best ability, or he could have more. It could have he'd be sitting there thinking, no, I can get more out of that. Who knows? Only the person sitting in that seat can be able to tell us that one, but we'll keep an eye on it. Red Bull there, keeping out the way nicely for Apicati as he comes through this to the end of the second, no, beginning, yeah, the end of the second sector, beginning the third sector. Red Bull getting out the way nicely. Even though the ghosting is on, the visual is still not ideal. But Apicati stays in the P3. I think he was on the hot lap there, and then now he's going to be on the in, so I don't think he was doing a double out. Not with the pace that he was showing. Let's have a little look on the map. We've got a McLaren coming around the final corners. Is that Marius? No, it's not Marius. It's Ratti. Ratti comes into the pit. Go back with PW Jones. Is he going into the pit? He goes over to the right hand side. He does go into the pit, so I think we've got quite a few people on their end laps now, getting them, and then be getting themselves prepared for their final run. Go back to Marius. He may be starting a push lap now. I think he maybe, it wasn't showing out lap on his name, I don't think, so maybe he has done a double out lap here, and because he was 12 seconds slower than his fastest lap on that one, so he definitely wasn't pushing. ART Douglas in the chat saying, going to be a tight midfield battle. It's definitely shaping up to be that at the moment. Oh, bit of a wiggle there from Marius out of turn 4. And then he's had a snap again mid-corner on turn 6, I think that is. Yeah, he's going to bring that one in. He's definitely had a couple of wiggles on that lap that we could see. Robin now up into P3 on his previous lap. Missed that one. He's 104.2. just over a tenth shy of Glitch 10 in P2, and then Huff and Dobak's got himself up there as well, and Bosmos. So Apocati has now dropped down to, who was in P2, has now dropped down to P6. So Apocati definitely needs to look for some improvement if he wants to get himself back up to start with those front guys. Barry's just started his lap. And he's invalidated at turn 1, so he won't be getting this lap on the board, but plenty of time for him to save that battery, save the tyres, and start another lap. He hasn't got time to get into the pits and back out again now, so he's going to have to save as much as he can with what he's got on and then go for it again from there. And everyone else is pretty much in the pits. Brian and Bromo on his out lap, taking his time, plenty of it left, still over 2 minutes, and with this track on a hot lap only being a minute, he's got plenty of time to get himself to the line. Sorry guys. Just had to put myself in an Xbox party so they don't hear me in the game chat, because it boots you out when you've been in there on your own for a certain amount of time. Good Xbox. Can't just keep me in a party by myself. It's like, hey, you loner, get out. But everybody pretty much on their outlaps now. Capabari in the pits, not bringing himself out. Let's go with Glitch 10 to see where Glitch is ready in relation to starting his lap. He's coming up to the pit entry, so he's going to be doing his final preparations to get his lap underway. We're going to stay on board with Glitch for this one. Or he's got Adam just starting a lap ahead of him, who's the current pole sitter, so we'll keep with these two as they're very close to each other on track, and their times are going to come in pretty much within a couple of seconds of each other. Be interesting to see if Glitch can find any more time in that lap and get himself in front of Adam. Adam so far, and I think that's Adam who spun it there and was facing the wrong way. So Adam won't be improving on his time. It's all to play for now for Glitch. Glitch just needs to keep this lap nice and tidy to see if he's up in the second sector. He comes round the left-hander down to that timing line, and he is currently up by pretty much all by a thousandth. He's up by 2/10. So looking good for Glitch to take that pole position back at the moment. He just needs to keep it tidy in the final couple of corners. Around the final corner, keeps it within the limits, and now it's just a run down to the line. And he does by 700th. He takes it from Adam, and then Bosmos comes in with a fast lap and gets a 0.82 and put him up into P2. TRT Robin now coming around the final corner, see if he can get himself up into that podium positions. Currently sitting in P5, he does get an improvement. Swaps one position up in front of Huff and Doe back to P4. And I think that is pretty much everybody over the line. I think we've got Nicholas possibly pushing, our last man on a push lap here. See whether Nicholas can get himself up any higher than P10. I didn't see his second sector time, and he goes wide, and that's an invalidation again, so that will be his qualifying over and done with, and that will be our grid set in stone. Glitched Hen managing to pull that lap out in the end and getting himself ahead of Bosmos. Just though, both three drivers within a tenth at the top. That's very, very close. pretty tight between quite a few drivers in this one. Obviously, being a short lap, it's easier for it to be a bit closer, shall we say, but still. What was it? It was... Oh, and they would have had rain. Can we not do a lobby reset? Can we stay in this one, please? No, obviously the lobby reset is mandatory. We will be doing it, but can we have these conditions in the race, please? At least to start or end to the race, like a mixed condition race. That'd be great. But as I was get back to as what I was saying, from P1 to P14, less than a second. That is not bad. Not bad at all. That is pretty tight. Bosh! And there they go into turn one. Yeah, the Red Bulls doing what the Red Bulls do, being the last ones to retire. We'll call that a celebratory donut from Glitch there before he pulled the plug. Celebrating that pole position. Just test my audio again there a second. I've just changed it. No, the game is still pretty loud. Right, how is that? Yeah, I think that'll do for now. I'll have to have a little fiddle with it. Just seemed like the game was a bit loud in the background there. I don't know, anybody in the chat can let me know how it is for them. Okay, so I'm hearing somebody has lost power, so whoever was behind him will be starting a position ahead. So that's good for those guys, but not so good for the guy that's had his power cut. What was I doing? I was doing this one. Let me have a little look at my... quickly. Oh yeah, there we go. We'll turn them down a little bit. You have to bear with me a minute, guys, while I get the grid in the right order. Obviously, Glitched Hen was our pole man, so we'll start with him. Right, so that's our guy missing. Right. I think we are good to go. Let me just double check. Yeah, I did do that. Right. Now we shall just wait for everybody to ready up, have their couple of minutes on the grid, and then get this Austrian Grand Prix underway. Hopefully, I'm hoping we get some wet stuff in the race personally for the spectacle it can bring, especially a mixed condition one, like a bit of light rain, you know, intermediate condition. I'm not bothered which way round it is, if it was inters to dry or dry to inters. Just that I think just having that to shake up the strategies a little bit and see who's done their wet practice. But then saying that, you know, a dry race around this track can still bring plenty, so it'd just be nice. I think both divisions so far this season have been pretty lucky on the race side of things where the weather's concerned. We've had a wet qualifying in Monza, but they've been pretty lucky on the race side. And then Richmond, the one that retired in qualifying, oh yay! We got some wet stuff. I definitely laid the commentator's curse on them today. But as I was saying, Richmond, who retired in qualifying, and also hearing that he's having audio issues, so don't be alarmed if anyone would be alarmed when they see him retire at the end of the first lap. That's what he's got to get it going, and then unfortunately for him, he's gonna have to pull out of this one. I mean, I have tried also on this. It was this track, believe it or not. If you're listening, Richmond. I raced here on, it was under the 25 regulations. And I had the same thing. I started the race. I had no game audio whatsoever. And yeah, I tried. I tried after a few laps. It was just trying to listen. Oh, well, you can't listen. There's no audio. Trying to know when to change gear and drive the car at the same time without having to constantly look at the gears and everything like that. It's just not nice. It was not nice. And Corey Brooks, oh look, it's rain. Yep, I did my little rain dance. I didn't, but we'll say I did. I did my little rain dance. Did my commentators cursing. I asked for it. I got it. Hopefully it's what I asked for though. A mixed condition. I said I'm not bothered which order. Wet to dry, dry to wet. Doesn't bother me. Just them mixed conditions would be nice. Whether we're going to get this for the whole race, we'll soon find out. But let's see who's been doing their practice in the way. I mean, the ground doesn't look too bad. We'll see what it's like when they get going and how much spray we have. Obviously, with me being on Xbox, I don't have the luxury of turning particles off. So, unlike you guys on PC that can turn that off and still have a lovely clear view ahead of you, I can't. So, we'll see how much spray comes from them on the start. It doesn't look too wet though. Maybe the line, we'll see them looking to drive offline to get those keep those tyres cool, which will give us an indication of what the track conditions like. But we shall see on that side as we can hear the beep, which means that they are getting ready. And we go to the grid. The lights are lit. There's all 5 of them, and we are away. Good start from Glitch 10. Very good launch there. Gets himself well in the clear on the run down to turn 1. We got 2 McLarens having a moment. Desync issue behind. You could see one McLaren on top of the other. But very good start from Glitch 10 there on getting the traction off of the line. Now on the run down into turn 3, he does have TRT Robin all over the back of him. We'll see what's going on behind as well. We're going 3 wide with the Cadillac, Audi and McLaren of Nicholas Apicati and Ratti, that is. So they're now battling on the run down into turn 4. The Cadillac getting the better side of that little 3-way, and now they're going back 3 wide again, and the Audi just backs out of it. He could see that he was getting pinched there, and he chose the wiser option of just easing off and letting those two close that gap up. Good opening lap here for most people. It's starting to get into their lines now. Still side by side with Barrier, I think that was. No, couldn't quite catch them who that was then, but the 2 McLarens now getting ahead of the Cadillac. Nicholas dropping back behind Marius. Brian Mbemo rounding out the top 10, and there goes Richmond, I believe, into the pit with the audio issues. Unfortunate, but it is difficult to race when you can't hear the car at all. As I was saying on personal, I personally know how that one feels. We've got Huff and Cooper battling up into turn 3 now. Huff on the inside of Cooper in the sister Red Bull team, and Cooper gets ahead out of the corner, managed to get the better traction. And then we've got another 2 cars battling into turn 4. That's the Cadillac of Nicholas and Brian. Brian on the inside has the better line now on the run up into turn 6. And they're still side by side here, round turn 6 into turn 7. And there you go. There's the move done and dusted for Brian. Ahead of them we have Marius and Capibari, who are almost side by side battling. Marius just slots in behind Capibari for the second to last corner. Not one of the easiest corners to be side by side with another car. But he's going to have a look now. Oh, let's go back to Marius. He's going to have a look now on the run up into turn one. He's going to take the inside line slightly later on the brakes, gets the move done. Lovely move there from Marius into turn one, keeping himself up with his teammate. So, as we were saying before, this mid-pack area is tight. And then we can see Brian now making another move. Or I think it was Capibari. Brian was having to go defensively. And Capibari getting the move done on Brian, getting back ahead of him. So Brian now looking on the inside. Late move, but Capibari just left enough space there for Brian to avoid too much contact with Brian, almost pushing him through turn 6. We'll go and have a little look at what's happening at the front. Glitch 10 still being the one maintaining the lead on this race, but very, very closely followed by Robin and Cooper. Go back to this battle because this is where the action is at the moment. KFC bloke now battling with the Audi of Apicati. Look to have a better run out of the final corner, but can't quite get alongside enough yet. Come on, camera, switch. There we go. And also PW Jones having to do a little bit of wiggling behind, trying to see if he could find a way through. But with the Haas and the Audi almost side by side, he just didn't have the space to get through on any of them at this moment. Got some more shuffling going on. We've got Brian and Capibari at it again. Capibari out tractioning. Couldn't get my words out then. Out tractioning Brian out of turn 3. Brian's going to look on the inside again. Little bit of contact as they go round to turn 4. And that's Brian through on Capibari. Capibari lets him have that one for the time being. Where are we with the battling now? Starting to settle down a little bit with these guys, getting into single file, but what an opening couple of laps that has been for them. Cooper fan getting through on TRT Robin now for that P2 up with his teammate. So Cooper fan having a good start. I think he started down in P6. Oh no, he was lower. He should have been P8, but he started P7 with that Adam having that power cut and not able to take part. So still P7 to P2 in 5 laps is a very good start for Robin. Cooper fan there. I was looking at Robin's name. But he's up there with his teammate now and not far behind his teammate as well. So Cooper showing some good pace in these conditions. It does look like the rain is stopping. I can't see as much from the off-board. We'll have a quick look on the on-board. Yeah, you can still see it is coming down, but just definitely seems like it's lightened up a little bit. It may not be long before we see the end of the rain. I think we may have the mixed conditions coming. We shall see. But see whether these two Red Bulls are going to work together or they're going to battle. As you can see, Glitch 10 having a little look at whether he was going to need to be defensive then. Because Cooper is very, very close up behind him. So we'll see if Cooper can get a move done at any point in these next couple of corners. If he's going to go for it, I'd expect if he's going to get it done, it would be up into turn 3. Obviously with these conditions, it's a restricted straight line mode, so the front wing drops but the rear wing doesn't open. I believe it works like that. So they still get the front wing drop, as we can see the front wing there on the front of Cooper flat, but the rear wing doesn't open up. Yeah, I am right. So it's a restricted straight line. It's like half straight line. You get a bit of it at the front, but you don't get it at the back. Little bit deep there from Huff and Doback, but clinging on to the front 3 pretty well so far. Gonna have to start getting defensive against Bosmos soon, I think. Bosmos showing the pace in qualifying. So showing that he has the pace to be up in the podium positions. So we'll see just how he gets on come the end of the race. We'll have a little look further back. Brian and Capibari now seem to have settled down a little bit, as they were the ones that seemed to be battling the most in those opening laps. PW Jones down in P12, Patello P13, and Nicholas at the back in P14. So that no practice is definitely jumping up and biting Nicholas. From what we can see so far, you've got Robin and Cooperfan now battling side by side out of turn 3. Robin looking to get through down into turn 4. He's got the inside line. He may be able to get it done depending on how confident he is on the brakes, but he didn't seem like he wanted to. He was being sensible there. He didn't want to throw anything in these conditions. He was. I think he was just a little bit earlier on the brakes than Cooper, and Cooper able to carry more speed being on the outside. So Cooper defended that one well and manages to maintain the position so far. But it's getting a little bit spicy. The front end in their own little battle going on, and then the mid-pack with their own little train and battle going on. So Brian and Capibari still close, but Capibari having to look behind him now as Apicati's right there. He's finding himself in an Audi sandwich at the moment. Apicati's really close now. We may see a move from him up here into turn 3. As we get a nice view of the front pack, we can see Huff and Doe back there going side by side with Bosmos. Bosmos getting through on Huff, having the better exit. And now that's put Bosmos all over the back of Robin. Robin's going to have to look defensive, but can't switch to the inside line with Bosmos being there. That's put Bosmos and Huff and Dobak's back side by side now on the run up into turn 6. And Bosmos just manages to keep that position for the time being. Apicati and Robin. So Apicati got through on Capibari, and now he's fighting with his teammate Brian Mumbremos, and Brian managing to keep the position out of the corner there, but he's looking a little bit slidey on the exit of turn 7. So battles happening in 2 different parts of the track at the moment. We've got 2 little trains, as you can see on the track map. The McLaren in his own little race at the moment with Ratty right in between these 2 trains in P7, but P6 to P1, and then P8 right down to P13, all in their own little trains. We'll go back to the front. Cooper defending Robin well so far, keeping him behind in that P3, and then we've seen Bosmos having a little bit of a slide out of turn 4 there, but getting himself a decent little buffer to Huff and Dobak at the moment, that he's not having to worry about any sort of attack just yet. But Huff and Dobak's not too far away. So I'd imagine if the conditions stay the way they are, they can probably run this whole race on these tyres. I'm not sure. I haven't personally done a long wet race around Austria to know how long these tyres go. I can't see anybody sort of looking like they're looking for the wetter line at the moment down any of the straights. But I mean, we've had quite a few side-by-side battles. Robin now looking on a move on Cooper fan. They're side by side out of turn 3. I think that was just a little bit of a wheel bang there, but didn't send any of the cars off of the line that they were taking, so nothing too bad there. They're still side by side into turn 4. Robin on the inside getting the move done there on Cooper, and he's back up into P2 now. Robin looking racy. He's been really close. Glitch hasn't managed to get himself away. Robin was there for the opening laps and then got overtaken by Cooper, but he's definitely fighting for it at the moment, and he's doing a good job of it. Oh, Nicholas, it's because it's a short pit around here. It does bring your AI back onto the track, but I don't think it got in the way of anything. You're all good. But Robin now looking on the dive on Glitch, goes for it, gets it done. Glitch going to be looking at the switchback out of turn 3, but can't get the traction down. Robin having a good exit. Oh, giving him the squeeze there. Glitch just managing to keep it straight. Had to put a couple of wheels on the grass, but definitely put the squeeze on Glitch there. Robin now in the lead of this race. That was very close to being a disaster there. GG's to Glitch for keeping that one in a straight line. As soon as you hit the grass, especially in these conditions, it's easy for that car, that rear end, just to snap away from you. So Glitch did well to keep that going straight and then getting it stopped into turn 4. But still 6 cars at the front, all within their own little train. And we see Ratty now come into the pit, so they aren't going to be able to take these tyres. See, like I said, I haven't done a long run on these. Shows how much I know. But 12 laps in, having to stop. I wonder if he knows something we don't, and conditions are going to dry soon. But if he was going to the dries, it's way too early, I think, with the rain still coming down. So we'll see what happens with Ratty later on in this race, and if anyone else chooses to stop soon. As I was saying at the start of the race, the track doesn't look overly wet. It's obviously greasy, but it doesn't look overly wet. Like, these have been racing now for 12 laps, and you can't, as you normally would where when it is fairly wet, you would see that drier line forming. The whole track from either side is all the same colour, so it's not given a clear indication that the track itself is wet. So we may be seeing these guys going on to slicks come the end of this race. It's going to be another set of inters. So yeah, they're burning these inters out. With it not being that wet, it's obviously nowhere near the condition for the dry tyre yet, but they definitely are burning them intermediates up around in these conditions, with this track being a short track and a couple of high-speed corners, especially the final 2, and then the 2 left-handers in sector 2. Your left side does take a bit of a battering. I mean, it's the right side of the tyres that are under the load around these corners, but it's, with it being a clockwise track, most of the corners are to the right, so it's that left side that takes the heavier battering. And now we see Glitch 10 pulling over for the pit lane. Is that Cooper fan following him? No, he's been wise enough to stay out and not double stack there. But is that going to cost Cooper? With any potential undercut, locks up on his way in. Glitch 10, that puts Cooper as our current race leader now until he stops, and Huff and Doback not far behind. So all these positions shuffling now with the pit stops. Brian Mbemo up into P4, Capibari in P3, 6 seconds behind P2. So them lot battling has backed them off a little bit, but they're not exactly what you would call a million miles away. 6 seconds isn't huge at this point in the race. Cooper fan not coming, opting not to come in yet. He's going to keep it going that little bit longer. I wonder if he knows something. I wonder if he's being told it's going to dry up. I really hope it does. I know I said I wanted the wet stuff, but I said I wanted mixed condition. I hope towards the end of the race, it gives us a bit of dry time and makes them all have to stop at dry tyre. Huffendo back holding on to that 1 second, 1.1 still. That's where he was when everyone else chose to go into the pit. We'll see when these do stop, just how much of any sort of undercut the early stoppers have got, if any. But as we could see there, Cooper was staying on that our right, but his left side of the track. Not choosing to go in the pits yet. Still, he's going to drag these tyres a couple more laps. You can see, let's have a look, because Glitch 10 was there. Let's have a little look. Which one is it? This one. 20 seconds away. Sorry, I heard myself in the background and my phone was a bit loud. But we'll see. We shall see. It's going to be interesting. Definitely interesting now when these guys choose to stop, just to see where they come out. I've taken the time off completely there. There we go. I think it was Robin getting through on KFC there. Robin back up into P4 after taking that early stop. Apologies for a little pause there. I was having a little look, figuring out what's going on where. Glitch 10 ahead of PW. PW right behind him in out of turn 3. Right behind him, almost pushing him down this straight. PW is going to poke out and look for a move. Glitch 10 has forced him to take one down the outside, but that's not going to work this time round. And Glitched, I've only just noticed, is on the hard tyre. So Glitch going for a dry tyre. When we saw the other McLaren stop, I think it was for another set of intermediates, wasn't it? So, we do have somebody on the dry tyre. It's working so far. Has Glitched pulled one out of thin air? I was trying to think of a word to use there. Has he pulled one out of thin air here, and has he pulled the wool over everybody else's eyes? And while they're still on the inters, he's on the hards. I mean, he's not pulling away from PW that quickly, but he's not also falling back. So it's definitely on that crossover sort of point, is I think you'll sort of call it. Really, it's where there's not much difference between the dry and the wet tyre. We see there TRT Robin getting through on Capibari to reclaim the podium spot. It's back up into P3 and only just shy of 9 seconds behind Cooper after stopping. But Robin is on the intermediate. He didn't choose to stop for the dry. We'll have a little poke. So 2 people now with the hard tyre on. So we'll have a little poke. We'll have a little look. You can see the McLaren and the Alpine now side by side on the run up to turn 3. We'll go on board with these guys and see who's going to come out on top. We've got a yellow flag. Who is that? That's Huff and Dobak who's gone off, and I think he has beached it. I think if it's safe to do so in this situation, he is okay to reset to the track if it's definitely beached. Oh, he's got a puncher. He's got a puncher. You can see in his mirror there. Disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. Yeah, I think on that instance where you are definitely beached, you are allowed to use the reset to track. But unfortunate there for Herf and Dobak. It definitely, I could just see it in his mirror, his rear left tyre was gone. So definitely took it too long on these inters, and was saying that and taking it too long. You can see Cooper coming into the pit there, and it didn't look like there was much tread on them tyres. And he's opted, by the looks of it, to go for the hards as well. Can't get on board with him to have a proper look yet. You'll see as he goes around this corner. Yep, that's definitely the white wall tyres. So Marius now takes the current lead of this race. Here on lap 20. Still 16 laps to go. Plenty. There it is. Normal grip, straight mode. Glitch has pulled one out here, I think. I mean, he's just behind his teammate, but his tyres are already fired up. Maybe it was just a little bit too early for Glitch to go on to them. But... Oh, well kept again. Again, Glitch, I've got to give it to you. That was well saved. Yeah, Huff and Dobak comes into the chat going, I should have done a lap early. Yeah, I don't know if you had the stream up in the background and could hear it, Huff, but Glitch has been on the hard tyres for a couple of laps now. I'll quickly put it back up. So Glitch has been on them for 6 laps. I think Glitch was just a little bit too early, but he definitely could feel that the dry tyre was the one to start getting onto. Now we see Marius coming into the pit, and the gap that he had to Ratty is enough that they're not going to... It's not going to impact Ratty in any way having to come in with the same lap as his teammate. But that now puts Cooper Fan as our race leader. So Cooper Fan with the ultimate strat here, just dragging them intermediates out that little bit longer instead of stopping. Looks like Glitch, I don't know why Glitch stopped that early. Did he burn them out? Was it a trial and error between them? Are they in communication with each other? Did Glitch go, do you know what? I'm going to go early. I'm going to be the test dummy, shall we call him, and see what they're like, and I'll let you know, Cooper, and feed the information. We don't know, but that could be a possibility. Glitch now looks like he is struggling with the tyres. Don't know if that's because the grip conditions aren't quite there yet, or he's just overcooking them. If he's set his pressures too low at the start of the race for the intermediates, and that's now making these overheat. Could be a possibility again. Could be a number of things, but he's definitely struggling, as you can see. Yeah, he is on a few lap old harder tyres, older tyres, but he's just falling away from Cooper now. Cooper with 2.5 seconds to his teammate. Robin just under 2.5 seconds to Glitched. We have a yellow flag at turn 1. That is Ratty. and he is out of this race. Can't get on board with him because he's now gone into invincible, and that has brought out the safety car. Ooh. Ooh, okay. What do the drivers do here? I mean, Cooper's not long stopped. He's on 2-lap-old hards. His teammate behind struggling on the 8-lap-old hards. Everyone else pretty fresh. I think we would see most stay out. Cooper's definitely going to stay out for the track position. As we see Glitch 10 now going in. That would be more than likely for the medium tyres. And yeah, the yellow wall tyres go on. That's the medium tyres. He definitely can take them to the end. Be at this point in the race, only 13 laps left to go. But he's going to have lost that, definitely have lost out on track position. He's come out there in P6. Going to be on the faster tyre than everybody else, but the way that he was struggling initially, it would be interesting just to see how Glitch can do and whether he can get himself back up into the podium positions. Robin has looked very good in that wet stint. Marius is now up there in P3. So, the little moment, the waffle moment, the safety car laps. Anyone in the chat, give me your predictions. Is Cooper going to win? Or is Robin going to snatch it from him? Or is someone else going to win? Billy comes in and says he thinks Robin wins it. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing from what I've seen so far. Robin has shown some really good pace in the on the inters. Glitch did well on the inters as well. He did defend that first place right up until he stopped. But obviously now he's down in P6. Cooper, it's going to be a good battle. I think it's going to be a good battle between Cooper and Robin. I really do think we have got a fight on our hands here for the final. It's going to be 11 laps, I think. Maybe the safety car will go in next lap. It's definitely not going in on this one. So it goes in next lap. That would be the end of 25 into 26. So yeah, we'll get 10 racing laps for these to take it to the end. Robin on the hard tyre as well. Similar age to Cooper. Who's that that's just gone in the pit? Brian. Is Brian thinking mediums? He is thinking mediums. So maybe that safety car didn't come at a good time for Brian. I'm not sure if he stopped just before it got called for those hards, and then now he's thinking, no, I want to be on the mediums for 10 laps. And he's only lost 2 positions, I think, with that stop. So he's not lost too much. Obviously, everybody here left now is guaranteed a point at least. All they've got to do is complete the race. Hoffendobach thinks Marius will take it. So we've got Billy thinking Robin. I was thinking Robin. Hoffendobach thinks Marius. Well, I'm sort of torn between Robin and Cooper. I mean, Cooper's shown good pace in them opening laps. He started down in P7, got himself up with his teammate P2 by lap 5 or 6, I think it was. So I'm sort of torn between these two. That's why I think it's going to be a good fight. I can't put my money on one person, one of them two here. And then Huff and Dobak saying Marius. I mean, Marius is right there. All it takes is for the front two to have a moment, and Marius can try and capitalise from it. But the safety car has gone in. We're going to go around the final corner now. Cooper keeping it late. Going to go as late as possible. Now he drops the hammer. And they go racing again under green light conditions. That camera's not great. Robin, I think they're having to defend from Marius. We've got Glitch 10 getting up on Capybari behind. Now going through on Bosmos. So Glitch having a very good launch on these mediums. So the mediums could be the one for Glitch so far. Already up into P4 behind Marius. Cooper fan now being overtaken by Robin. Robin getting himself ahead early on in this opening lap from the safety car. And Cooper just falling away. So Cooper maybe not firing those hards up enough, as we can see a lovely helicopter shot here of Marius on the inside of Cooper. Oh, and then it switches. Give it us back. And Marius now getting through on Cooper. And Cooper dropped down into P3. Now with his teammate there in P4. Glitch 10 now looking on the inside of Cooper. These mediums working really well for Glitch 10 at the moment. Glitch 10 now up into the podium position already. So after them hards, he definitely wasn't liking those hards. He's liking these mediums. And the two guys ahead of him are also on the hard tyres. So he has the better tyre at the moment. How are they going to be for him compared to the hards come the end of the race? We shall wait and see. But as of this moment, they are definitely doing the job for him, as he looks on the outside of Marius. Marius having to go try and squeeze him. I couldn't get my words out again. Try and squeeze him to the outside of turn 3 on the exit. And Marius defending on the inside of turn 4. A little bump there. And now Cooper fan is back up, almost getting alongside his teammate. So Marius doing all he can to keep the Red Bulls behind him at the moment. This is allowing Robin to just break a little bit of a gap from any kind of threat. Low grip, straight mode and boost has just come up. And the safety car is back out. I missed that. That's for Capybari. I wondered why it was saying low grip. I was like, it's not. My brain was thinking it's not raining again. That's Capybari and KFC. It looks like they've had it coming together. I can't see if anyone's got any damage. Oh yeah, KFC with no wing at all. And nor is Capybari. So those two having a coming together at turn 6. It looked like, and that's brought out. That's redeployed. There it is. Come on, brain. Redeployed the safety car. Cooper has a bit of damage. Let's have a little look. The camera angle's not doing us any favours here, is it? Let's have a little look as we come up. As Cooper's wing looks okay. He's got both end plates. If he has, it's very slight, but as a visual, it looks to be okay. Yeah, on the visual side of things, it's definitely looking okay. So maybe Cooper just struggled to fire them hards up. Apicati now in the pit. Robin and everyone else choosing to stay out. They got the hard tyres. It's going to be for another 6 laps. 6 or no, the other way around. 5 or 6. by the time I nearly said it then, the fashion's in the chat here, I love that one. 5 or 6 laps that we'll get. I think this is the second lap of safety car. No, this is the first full lap. Yeah, so it's going to be a maximum of 5 racing laps. Billy, he hit the back of Robin coming out of turn 4 on a restart lap and then got swamped by another 2 cars after. Yeah, I don't know if that's just because he didn't fire the hards up though. I mean, like, as I was saying, visually his wing looks to be okay, so if he does have any damage, it's got to be very minor. So the safety cars as well happening in the driest parts of the race. We had all that fighting going on in the opening laps. It was all good. And then it goes dry and people are having problems. Luckily for Capybara and KFC, in some sense, that safety car come out from whatever happened between those two. Obviously, I missed that with watching the battle at the front. It allows them to get back up to the pack. Not too much lost, as I was saying, but in the previous safety car, anybody's finished, they're at least guaranteed a point, so they haven't lost out too much. At that point, if the safety car wasn't deployed, then they definitely wouldn't have been in any position to fight for any more points with how far behind they were from the incident. But there's the call for the safety car, nice early one. So we are going to get 5 full racing laps now. As it stands to the end of this race, you see everybody doing the zigzag to try and get as much heat, especially in them hards. They'll be harder to fire up than the mediums on Glitch 10 in P3, so Glitch could even be in with a shout here, depending on how well Marius and Robin can defend him. This has definitely saved Glitched with his tyres as well. With being on the mediums, other than the hard, come to the end of the race, then mediums would have definitely been in worse a state than the hards with the amount of laps he would have done on them. But this safety car has done him all kinds of favours now. Oh, bit of a snap there out of turn 1 from Robin, but manages to keep it on the track. See Brian and P.W. Jones battling in the background. We'll have a little look at what's going on there. We can see Brian, both the Audis, look 3 wide on the exit with P.W. Apicati Brian, Bossmos, I think. And P.W. getting ahead. Now the 2 Audis back side by side again. It's Brian on the inside line. No, yeah, he did have the inside. So these two as teammates, they've had a couple of little battles this race. Papaya rules, should we call it? In some sense, just an Audi. So we'll call it, I don't know, silver rules, something like that. Go back to the front though. We've got Glitch 10 still behind Marius. And Cooper keeping up nice and closely with his teammate. So Cooper, whatever problem Cooper was having at the start of the previous safety car, he doesn't seem to have had it this one. Glitch having to go onto the outside of Marius there, tries going on the switchback to the inside, but Marius getting the traction out and being able to defend well with the battery. Now down into turn 4, Glitch later on the brakes, dives it down the inside. Marius has concede that position at this point, and that's Glitch 10 now up into P2. Glitch 10, who we thought was out of contention of winning this race, now in contention of winning this race again. So these safety cars have done Glitch a world of favours, and Glitch now looking at the lead of Robin ahead of him as we go round the final corners to start lap 33 of 36 here in Austria. It's been a decent race, this one here for Division 1, a lot closer with battles than what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, in its own way, had plenty of action though. But Glitch now looking to make the move on Robin. He's having to go on the outside. Is he going to set himself up for some kind of switch? He does go for it. Now on the inside of the exit of turn 3, side by side down on the run down into turn 4. Robin on the outside, Glitch on the inside. Glitch squeezing him, but leaves just enough space, and that's Glitch through now into the lead. And as we also just caught on the tail end with that battle, Cooper Fan having a moment. We saw him off track, and Cooper Fan now down into P9, with Brian Mbromo also in P10 with left wing damage. So Brian has had to come in together with someone at some point. Apicati now up into P4, getting ahead of PW Jones. But back to this fight in front, Robin in the lead again. We're going to stay on with these guys because these guys I think are going to be at it from now until the end of the race. And Marius is still there, right behind in P3, ready to pounce on any opportunity he gets with the guys ahead battling. Robin now having to take the defensive line again, and this is going to open the door a little bit. No, I was going to say it's going to open the door for Marius to have a look on Glitch, but Marius couldn't quite get up enough. And now Glitch gets through on the exit of turn 3 on Robin, and it is a little bit of a yo-yo going on between these guys at the moment. Now Robin on the inside again, side by side up into turn 6, side by side still, and then he concedes and just slots back in behind Glitch for the time being. Great battle between these two guys at the moment. This is what we want to see. Lovely racing from these two. And we're going to go almost 3 wide. Marius has seen his opportunity, and he's got through on Robin out of nowhere and almost gets alongside Glitch 10 there. And now Apicati's going to have a look on Robin. Robin dropping back. Apicati gets through into P3. What is going on with Robin at this point of the race? Apicati also now having to take the defensive line on the inside, and Glitched also doing the same in front. Marius getting through on Glitched. Marius now in the lead of this race, and Apicati later on the brakes puts himself up alongside Marius. Apicati's going to be looking for the lead. Where has this come from? Apicati out of nowhere has put himself right up and now battling for the lead of this race. Got the inside line on Marius. Oh, and as I say that, the commentator curse kicks in. I am so sorry. And spin from Apicati, and that puts him back down with his teammate in P9. Oh, and we see, I think that's how Glitch 10 and Cooper, Glitch 10, sorry, having a moment and now dropping behind Cooper. So that's put PW Jones up into P3. Hello PW, what is going on? Hello. Welcome to the podium spots. PW be over the moon so far. Just has to maintain it in this last lap. But it's looking good for Marius. Marius saw his opportunity, took his opportunity, and said thank you very much, guys. And he has got himself up into P1. Robin having that little moment, dropping a couple of positions back up into P2. And then, as I was saying about Apicati out of nowhere, looking very racy for the lead. PW Jones out of nowhere comes up into P3, and we see a battle between Bosmos and Capibari going on. And that is also KFC Bloke going off the track in the background. Still side by side with Cooper and Capibari now. Capibari having to drop back behind Cooper. Go back to the front. Robin is putting his charge on up into these last couple of corners. He knows it's now or never, but he's not going to be able to get it done just yet. He is right up behind Marius though as they go through the final corners. Can he get the better exit out the final corner? No, he can't, and that is job well done from Marius Anderson. TRT Robin coming in P2. PW Jones, take a bow. P3. Much, much, much better result from you tonight. I can imagine you're probably jumping out your rig now or whatever and jumping for joy in your own way. As yeah, what a result. Wow, what a final few laps we had there, guys. That safety car really gave us something for the end of that race. I enjoyed that. That is probably one of my most fun races to commentate on as a solo. Out of any race that I've done solo comms on, I think that is probably one of my favourites now. What a race that was. Wow. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. Really, really enjoyed that. Now, as you guys know, interview situation. I can only do Xbox. Robin, give me a ping. Let me know if you want me to invite you to the party quickly. Give you a little moment. If not, I will wrap it up. Oh, I don't have you on Xbox, do I? If you're in the lobby, I can get you in the party, though. Stay in the lobby a second if you want one. Do I have you as a friend on Xbox? I think I have you as a friend on Xbox, actually. I might. I do. He says, "No, don't worry." Okay, that's cool. Just thought I'd ask. You're the only person I can get in, so with being on Xbox. But yeah, that concludes it this week. That's Austria done and dusted. And what a race that was to end our racing week here in OTLR. Make sure you join us for more of that action next week as we go racing in Baku. That's going to be a good one, I think. A lot of people sort of mixed on the track under these regulations. Some saying it's better. Some saying, nah, it's Baku. Baku's Baku. We'll see. But yeah, be sure to join us next Tuesday for D2 at 8 p.m. UK time. And then Division 1 will be 8 p.m. on Wednesday. So thank you for joining me tonight. And I look forward to seeing all of you back for the next one. Bye-bye.